Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is time for CIL action once again here on Monday nights. Coming to you live from Legacy Texas Motor Speedway. It is the Garage Shop College Cup Series, round 5 of this Season 8 summer schedule. And after a pretty solid race at Darlington last week, they take on another mile and a halfer here tonight at Texas, and what should be a very good challenge for these drivers to see how well they can make tires last at a track that really loves to chew them up if you're not careful through the corners. I will be one half of the voices in the booth here tonight. I'm Alex Gagnon. Alongside me, as he has been for the past several races here, it is Josh Crane. Josh, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks, Alex. And I think it will be maybe a little bit of a switch up from our last race at Darlington. Pretty physical race, and under the lights it was last week in these Gen 4 cars. And so back here at Texas Motor Speedway here in virtual Fort Worth, Texas, the track is a little bit wider. It is also a little bit more manageable for these drivers, and so I suspect that we will see a little bit more pace. It is a mile and a half. It is an intermediate, and that turn 2 exit, Alex, that you see right there can be very tight at times for these drivers. And we have already seen that the right front tire is going to be the tire of the evening. That's where these drivers are going to try and conserve. So it's going to be very much a mental game for these drivers tonight. But all in all, be a pretty exciting race here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and you make a good point there about that turn 2 exit. Definitely a lot more tricky here at Legacy, Texas than the current configuration of Texas Motor Speedway. As we see drivers on track right now, they are running their qualifying laps, getting set. We just saw a moment ago Matthew Morton. Now that you see Clint Halterman on your screen, both of those drivers have been two of the big names here during the summer Season 8 season. Both of them have picked up at least one win. Morton with 2, Halterman with 1. The other driver with a win so far this season is Zach DeWale out of St. Clair College. So 3 different winners through the opening 4 races. I would not be surprised if we see a repeat winner again here tonight, because the cars that have had pace, they have been really fast through the opening couple rounds here. But you never know. I mean, I know Edwin Onofre was really fast here when we came to Texas a couple seasons ago, and he's put together a really good qualifying time so far. He's currently sitting in second as we see that 166 leaning way out there through 1 and 2. That car looked like it was almost crab walking through the corner, but that's just how much he was trying to force that car to get around.
Yeah, these cars are going to be crab walking all night long. That does seem to be the preferred line around some of these corners. You can see we're on board with Arizona State right now. He'll get down in the corner, and you do have to take it pretty relaxed because, yeah, this is where we're going to see cars in the wall. You want to keep it a little bit short right there. You hear Garrett Vinton right there, a little bit late on the gas as he gets back, rolling down the straightaway, and then that signature roll out of the throttle, actually. Ooh, and just a touch of the white line there as the Sun Devil comes across the line, I think actually in the wall there. So a very good lap there for the 42 for information,
Yeah,
even if
but
that's not what you want to do.
Yeah, but I say, even though that lap isn't going to count toward his official total in qualifying here, he definitely was carrying a lot of pace through the corner. As you see now, Kent Hundley coming across the line. He puts together a nice little lap. He's up in the P6 here, just ahead of Colin Kolpa and Cody Hundley. So the driver out of Northeast State Technical putting together a pretty solid start to this race here. But right now, the car to beat in qualifying does appear to be Ohio State's Matthew Morton, who holds the top spot on the grid, which, if anyone has been following along so far throughout the season, should come as no real surprise. He has been up toward the front at just about every race we've run so far this season. The new driver for the Ohio State Buckeyes really coming in with a whole head of steam so far in Season 8.
Yeah, I think so as well. Pretty solid there from that driver. He's had a lot of good runs that he's been able to put together. Very exciting for him to basically, I don't know what, 2 or 3 or so wins there that have been really good.
Yeah,
And
2
a good,
wins, and then Auto Club almost could have
as I
been if
say,
it wasn't
we'll
for
call it two
the
and a
pit
half.
cycle.
But lots of wise strategy there from the Buckeyes as well. That's going to be a big storyline, and it's going to be a big storyline as we get to not quite the halfway point of the season, but with this being the 5th race of our 12-race season, something to think about here.
And another thing that people are going to have to start thinking about here as we're nearing the halfway point is that we are running with a bit of a playoff format, much like the current NASCAR Cup Series. We ran it for the first time last year, but because of it's a 12-race season, I believe it's a 4-race playoff. So the regular season deadline is we're now halfway through the regular season. So if you're not already up toward the top of the standings, you only got a couple more chances to really figure it out and try and save your season if you're looking for any sort of a postseason championship contention. Obviously, you can still race in any event this season, whether you qualify for the Garage Shop College Cup Series playoffs or not. But you can only race for the championship if you are within that top group.
Yeah, that's going to be a kicker for a lot of these drivers. Right now, we have Jake Cummings on screen from Wingate University. That driver has been a staple, but not the best luck this season, Alex. Been in some tough spots, most notably last week at Darlington. But seeming to be the story of each weekend, he makes his way up to the front and showed us his Wingate teammate, Brandon Schulenberger. Those drivers have a tendency to move generally forward during the race. Yeah, I have a feeling before we get done with the season, that 007 is going to give some other drivers some headaches with his speed and also with his racecraft right there. Coming around, you see he's been climbing up, started back, just cracked the top 10. We'll see if another lap will suffice. I don't see. Oh, up to 7th there for Cummings. So Wingate University will find that 7th. And just before that switches over, Alex, and so we will have shortly our grid here for tonight.
Absolutely, and a decent sized field here tonight with 23 cars should mean enough cars to keep it interesting, but not enough for it to get too congested. I think there'll be quite a bit of room for these drivers to operate tonight, and they'll hopefully be able to take advantage of that fact. But now, looking at the starting grid, Josh, would you like to do the honors?
Yes, sir. The pole sitter is going to be not unfamiliar. Ohio State University and Matthew Morton putting that Buckeye machine, number 13, on pole again tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Walking through the field, University of North Texas. That's going to be a great starting spot for Edwin Onofre there in that 199 car. The 02 of St. Clair College. That's going to be Zach DeWale there in 3rd place. 4th place going to be North Carolina at Charlotte. That's Clint Halterman. 5th place going to be Kent Hundley from Northeast State Technical. Clemson University is going to have Andrew Williams in 6th place, and we just saw Jake Cummings set that best time for P7 there for Wingate University. The Hoosiers will roll off right there on your screen, that Apollo Motorsport number 100 car. Colin Kolpa from 8th position. East Tennessee State University's Cody Hundley in that 110 car, going to be 9th position, and finishing the top 10 here in this grid, the Boilermaker Jeremy Miller in that 105 machine. Thomas Toomey from the University of Virginia, he'll find himself in 11th, and 12th place will be another Boilermaker starting right behind his teammate. That'll be Andrew Cull. 13th will be Austin DeLong, and Connor Levy from Arizona State University will be in 14th position. Drexel University's Jason Wallet will be in 15th, and 16th will be the starting spot for Dylan Godinez. Clemson Tigers' Nick Stockner going to be 17th, and North Carolina at Charlotte again in the field, this time with Spencer Brown, 18th position. 19th will be Tyler Klingensmith and Robert Morris University in that distinctive cow scheme. We'll see it later tonight. And Arizona State University, Garrett Vinton with maybe, Alex, an uncharacteristic qualifying performance there to finish the top 20. These drivers are going, but we'll finish up with Drexel University's Timothy Wilms there in 21st, and Minnesota State Mankado's Ryan Wilson there. He will complete the 22nd position, and completing the field will be the Clemson Tiger, Andrew Burrell. And the Tigers are pretty well represented in this one. But back up at the front, Alex, we have got quite the front row. And in fact, I think I see a lot of talent in about that first 10 cars there on the screen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The one driver who I'm going to really keep my eye on tonight is Edwin Onofre, University of North Texas. Whenever we come to Texas, he always seems to run really well, and I'm wondering if that'll continue here tonight in these Gen 4 stock cars. Lights are off on the pace car, so they'll be going green once they round the corner here. Could be anyone's race, but there is plenty of laps to go. Drivers have been prepping for not only a good bit of the week here, but especially a good bit of the evening here, getting ready for this one. Pace car peeling off down pit road. Here come the drivers down the tri-oval, green flag in the air. They'll step on that accelerator, and we are racing here at Texas.
Down into turn one, these drivers are picking it up. That's going to be Ohio State making a good move. They're going to have that job done by the time they get to the backstretch. I don't know that the outside is going to be as popular here as we have seen at Atlanta or some other tracks, but looking at P2 right now, that is North Texas, Edwin Onofre. Man, would that group love to take home the win here in Fort Worth. Right behind him, you see, we'll have an onboard shot later, the 0-2 of Zach DeWale. He's going to try and put that car, blue, shiny as it may be, up to the front. He knows he's got the pace to do it. And suddenly, yeah, we've got a pretty good adventure going on between this top five. Actually pretty calm. But a little back further in the pack, it is not as calm. Side by side, Colin Cooper. Man, we got Indiana right there in the shot, trying to chase down Virginia. Those two drivers being traced by Drexel. But up in the front, Jeremy Miller, the Boilermaker, he's trying to make his way underneath the Buccaneers for that position. Can he get it done off the corner, leaving a lot of room to the outside there? These drivers a little bit early in the race to start driving each other into the fence there, Alex, but already also that 166 car up on the move and now moving up to the high side. The Boilermakers, do the Cavaliers follow or do they try and stay on that low side? But now Millerin has an opportunity to carry that momentum off. He's going to have a great run here into turn 3. You can see Drexel making a pass on the bottom of your screen, also moving around the ETSU Buccaneer there. That's Ken Huntley. And a big wiggle from Virginia off the corner. He had to get the pass done, but he's got it done. And the Boilermakers and the Cavaliers now find themselves in position 7 and position 8. They're on your screen, and these drivers continue to do battle.
Yeah, I think that was a really smart idea there early from Thomas Juby. He saw that Millerin had found the way past a couple of the cars ahead of him. He said, all right, clearly that was the method that works. I'm going to slide in right behind you and follow you through. And right now, that East Tennessee State machine, Ken Huntley, really struggling early. A lot of cars finding the way by. You see Nick Stockner going by on the low side there at Clemson. Now Connor Levy looking to the inside as they dive into turn number 1. Dylan Godinez is right on the heels of both of them. This is the battle here for around 13th and 14th. But Huntley started up in the top 8, so he is going the wrong way in a hurry here. As we see a couple of cars really scattering down the backstretch there. Quite a lot of battling going on in the back half of this field here. You see Stockner now under attack by Connor Levy. But back up front, you see Andrew Williams diving into the inside of Zach DeWale, trying to clear him. Might be able to do it that time looks like he'll come up, make the pass. He'll take away that second position, and now he is going to try and chase down Matthew Morton in Ohio State for the lead. Right now here on lap number 6, Morton leads by about 3/10 over a chain of cars, being Williams, DeWale, and Edwin Onofre hanging around in 4th.
Yeah, that seems to be the drill up front, but a little back, it is exciting back here. Drexel University are going to... Actually, I thought that Indiana had just moved up into 7th, so maybe they've had a little bit of an issue because now back to 10th they go. But right there you can see that is the Indiana Hoosier, Colin Culpa. And yeah, I did kind of hang out. We tried to follow a little bit earlier the battle between Connor Levy and Nick Stockner, which has just recently swapped hands. Bit of a strong block there on that 3rd lap going down into the corner. From the Clemson driver in that group, but nonetheless want to make the most of a good starting spot. So you can see these drivers down into turn 1, and look at the pace that they can carry in these Gen 4 cars. And those cars are not as planted as iRacing drivers will find the next gen car to be. And so, Alex, it's a pretty good balance of display. All these drivers partially sideways here at about a good bit of speed through the center of these corners.
Yeah, you can really tell that they're pushing it right now, but as these tires start to wear, you're going to have to really be careful trying to push it that hard. Because on older tires, when you start pushing it out like that, the car is just going to say, nope, not dealing with that, and just spin out, losing the back end of the car, especially in the middle of the corner. But as this goes on, you see Connor Levy continues his charge to the front. He's now looking to the inside of Andrew McCall. This is the battle for 11th here. The 14 trying to squeeze by on the inside. Looks like he'll be able to clear him here going down the tri-oval. He'll take away the 11th position and now has his eyes set on. Kent Hundley running in the 10th position here is Jason Willott trying to follow Connor Levy through around McCall, this time on the outside, though. That 76 car not having the same luck that the 14 did. He'll have to slide back in behind McCall here and wait for another opportunity to get by through 3 and 4.
Yeah, he will. Jason Willott trying to figure out just where to put that car. But, man, these speeds, Alex, coming up off the corner, about 165 miles an hour, up to about 190 we saw down into turn 1 last time. So that's going to be in a big move right here. And Drexel University get it done. They will get it done on the Purdue Boilermakers. That will be a good pass, and Jason Willott can set his eyes forward now, back to competition. But moving forward, a little bit more of a battle. Zach DeWale starting to fall off a little bit, and Edwin Onofre starting to put that car just a little bit closer to that blue rear bumper, that 02 machine.
Yeah, and you see that 199 very much still in the picture here. This battle for second, third, and fourth really has not gained or lost any traction since the last time we tuned into it. The only real change is that the Buckeyes ahead have pulled out from a 3/10 to about a 6/10 advantage, and are slowly starting to get away from this little group of 3 cars as they continue the battle. Edwin Onofre all over the back bumper of Zach DeWale here as we go to the onboard of the North Texas machine. All you can see right now in front of him is a whole lot of St. Clair College. Breaks a little earlier into the corner, trying to get a better run off of it. And as you can see coming through the going down the backstretch here, you'll see that draft start to pull him up just a little bit and keep him in contention here through 3 and 4. But basically even through that set of corners, Josh.
Yeah, they are, and I wonder if Onofre is just trying to use up a little bit more car strategically here, get closer to that 02, and create a little bit more chaos. I do note that Ohio State is loving this right now, pulling that gap out, up over a full second for the first time in this one, and suddenly this is like a little 3-car battle, very sideways right there for the 02, but Andrew Williams from Clemson University, that driver, is going to have his hands full a little bit slow in the mid-corner right there from the 02.
Yeah, we've got a really good battle going on here, and a pretty clean start to this race, which has been a bit of a change of pace from the past couple weeks where drivers might need a second to try and figure out where they're running. Everyone kind of sorted out their real estate pretty quickly here, and still plenty of passing going on track, but everyone's been pretty smart about it here through the opening 15 laps or so. As we see, Jason Willott has finally caught up to Connor Levy here, now looking to the inside. This is the battle for 11th, trying to find his way to the inside, running right along that white line. You see Levy up 2-3 lanes higher. Is going to be able to carry a little bit more momentum out of the corner, but Willott just being able to drive right back up to the bumper and then tries to really launch it into turn 1, blocked away by Levy. And he's got that Arizona State teammate of his in Garrett Baton just behind him, who's on a bit of a charge himself, who qualified back in 20th, but is already up to 13th.
I was going to say exactly that. Up 7 positions since this race started. Garrett has his work to do here early, but up in front you can see that those 2 drivers are battling. That's his view out the windshield, and boy, he's going to have his hands full. But right now, Jason Willott continuing to try and get around the inside of that 14 machine. Don't know if that's going to be so easy because it looks kind of early on here, Alex. I say early on as we've almost got 20 laps under our belts. That outside line, as these tires start to wear up, that outside line seems to have a lot of momentum off the corner. And NASCAR fans of old will remember the, big slide right there from Arizona State. That's not what you need as you exit the corner. But was going to say quickly, Alex, that fans will remember the Carl Edwards and Jimmy Johnson races where it was only by a nose, and it was that high line that succeeded back in the day.
Yeah, and this is a pretty similar configuration as Levy's grinding on the wall there, and now he's really loose, nearly takes out the ETSU machine. He keeps it forward eventually after probably spreading paint down the entire backstretch. But Connor Levy falls from around that 10th, 11th position all the way back to 15th. Lucky he didn't lose even more. You see Austin DeLong now trying to get by on the inside. And you got Dylan Godinez closing in behind him as well. Not what you want to see for the Arizona State driver, who was on a bit of a charge forward, but that's certainly going to be a setback. And with this race staying green, you just kind of have to live with that mistake and hope that you'll have an opportunity to get back at it at some point. As we saw Edwin Onofre just a moment ago, get by Zach DeWale, moving back into the 3rd position, and now trying to track down Andrew Williams ahead. He's about half a second ahead. But right now, everyone in the field trying to chase down Matthew Morton, who's 2 seconds ahead of the next closest car. And right now, a fierce battle between Clint Halterman and Zach DeWale as they go side by side in turn 3.
Yeah, Clint Halterman and UNC Charlotte, North Carolina at Charlotte, have really had an opportunity as these drivers battled up ahead to catch up and probably save some tire at that. So this is now an opportunity for Clint. Already in the top 5, he's in 5th position. See if he can sneak around and put himself up a little bit closer to the front. You'll always take it if you're a driver here. It looks like it's not impossible to pass Alex, but passing and positions are here at a premium. And these drivers are going to have to use a little bit of mental power and go to work on drivers. We saw a couple passes where drivers had kind of gotten the nose in around the outside or the inside. We did see that it took Drexel a couple laps to complete that pass on Arizona State when we watched them going into turn 1. And so, yeah, I think, passing is easier said than done here right now. Big sideways from the 0-2.
Ooh, that got real dicey for Halterman for a moment. Not only did he not lose a ton of ground, he actually gained ground on the 0-2 as he launches back into the inside, looking to maybe slide up ahead of the 0-2, able to do so. A bit of a shocking turn of events, if you ask me. The way he came off of turn 2, I never would have guessed he was going to keep the momentum enough to make this pass to get back into 4th position. But, Clint Halterman getting the job done there for UNC Charlotte and now trying to track down this battle for 2nd as Edwin Onofre is now right on the back bumper of Andrew Williams. This is one of the things that I feel like Onofre has done really well every time we've come to Texas over the past couple seasons. He gets he does really good about keeping his tires healthy over the course of a longer run. And you can see that now as his car faded away a little bit in the shorter term. But now as this run continues, he just starts to get a little bit stronger with each passing lap.
Yeah, that does seem to be the case, and we know that Onofre is generally pretty patient, so not always the most aggressive, but when it comes down to these races, he is very smart, and he has mentioned a couple times coming into this race that his tires are going to be his biggest chore tonight. And 25 laps in, we'll see what these drivers say, but yeah, that seems to be the case here. But 25 green laps we've just completed there, Alex, and so these drivers are well underway. They're going to be getting their rhythm down. For some, will be getting their rhythm down. Others are going to be just heating up.
Yeah, that they are. As we see a battle here that's about to be 3 wide. Vighton looking to the inside, but McCall able to fend them off just for the moment. He's still trapped to the inside, though, of Jason Willott. The 42 has to back out in the turn 3 there, just trying to assess where he's going to be able to find any sort of room to run against these two cars. As they are side by side, and now here comes Hundley into the mix as well alongside the 42. It's a little square of 4 cars here, all battling just around the top 10. McCall really trying to hold on to this position. He's been under fire since the drop of the green flag for this top 10 position. But he's been able to hold off all comers so far. Is now Vighton looking to split the double team here of McCall and Watt, looking maybe to the middle as opposed to the inside. Nothing going down there on the backstretch, but he is still laying in wait, trying to find his opportunity. He's not going anywhere anytime soon.
It's getting a little bit spicy between these 3 here. You can see the Sun Devils. Man, if that hole in the middle opens, Alex, I got a feeling he's going to put that Ford Taurus right in the middle. And that's going to be an opportunity for the Sun Devils. But you don't want to put everybody in the fence this early. But if you can get positions, you want to go for it. Here we go. 3 wide into turn 1. Drexel given a lot of room. Good on there. Going through the middle, he's going to take a lot of track on the outside there. Can he keep off? And look at that run on the high side.
They're still 3 wide.
3 wide through the trial. There they go, Alex. Figured it out. It's going to be the Boilermakers who concede first. The Sun Devils, though, have their work to do. They've got an opportunity inside and almost to the front bumper was that 105. That is Jeremy Millerin, who's right back there. But, man, what a run that was. And I was not sure, Alex, about 3 wide in the tri-oval. We've had some heartbreaks there in the past, but everybody made it through.
Yeah, that got really dicey for a moment, but McCall's the one to blink first and say, all right, if no one does something here, we're all going to get the short end of the stick. So he decides to go the route of self-preservation and lives to fight another day. but the battle between Willott and Witten continue here. But just a little farther behind him, we saw Connor Levy was up in the mix earlier. That damaged Sun Devils car now really just trying to hold on to anything at this point. All over the back of Nick Stockner here, but this is the battle for 17th. So Levy definitely still trying to hold on to a fairly damaged race car after that contact with the wall about 10 laps ago. And he's just trying to stay on the lead lap, I feel like, at this point, if he can help it, or until there's a caution or people start coming down pit road here. As we are on lap 30 now already. So a quick start to this race.
Yeah, and I got to say, I think that 14 car from Arizona State, that's probably the one car who is ready for a caution at this point. But one of these guys looking through, you saw a tight battle between Northeast State Technical. That is Kent Hundley there in the 112, and Colin Kulpa from Indiana there. He was trying to look low, but yeah, that kind of sets it. After we saw Drexel shoot off the outside of the corner there, I actually think he probably had to lift Drexel when they were about to go 3 wide through the tri-oval. I think that's why they were 3 wide through the tri-oval. And right there, we saw Kent Hundley put a pretty stern defense on to the outside lane. I think it's safe to say that these tires really don't have the bite down low that they did at the start of this race, and I think that's expected, Alex.
Yeah, 100%, especially at this point in the run. I mean, those things are really going to start protesting when you overdrive the corners at this point, unless you've done a masterful job saving your tires. But we've seen how ferociously all these cars have been fighting, so I doubt that's the case, really. But they are all just nose to tail right now. Now the 42 thinking about trying to dive to the inside here. He's going to have to really make ground through the corner, because coming off the corner exit, that's where the 76 really shines. But we're not sure, maybe not. The 42 gets a pretty good run off the corner, able to clear Jason Willott, and now into the top 10 securely for the first time in a number of laps. It's the 42 of Garrett Witten.
Yeah, a tale of 2 Sun Devils. Maybe not the race that Connor Levy would have picked, but the Sun Devils march on in the form of Garrett Witten. And what a boon it is, Alex, to have 2 or 3 cars in these events these days. Right there, ETSU, Cody Hundley gets one back. We saw Cody Hundley, the Buccaneer, kind of floating back, maybe a sense of self-preservation as this race started, trying to save those tires in that Pontiac, but back up front he goes to position 11 now. And he was down around 13th, 14th, I think, Alex, and so he's done a good job there. I do see Nick Stocker, the Clemson machine, one of the Clemson machines, on pit lane. We'll see if that is a scheduled stop. But right here, it continues. It simply does not stop. Now Indiana, and it looks like actually Indiana and Colin Kulpa coming to pit road. So we are doing squarely. Looks like green flag pit stops, and I wouldn't have picked it at lap 30, but these drivers must be saying, man, these tires are not having it, Alex.
Yeah, that has got to be the only reason here. And I'm noticing we see both Purdue and Indiana in. While they may be rivals in the grand scheme of things, I know those drivers in particular tend to drive a lot together for Apollo Motorsports. So there could be a little bit of team order action going on there about like all of the light cars that are trying to come in at the same time as well. But right now, I mean, this battle for second, third, and fourth has just been going on more or less the entire race here. Williams trying to hold off Edwin Onofre, and in this battling has let Clint Halterman close back in as well. The only person of the chain they've really lost is Zach DeWale, who's about a second and a half behind this pack of 3. But all this battling here has just let Matthew Morton drive off into the distance. I mean, he is 5 seconds ahead here and hasn't looked back. But that's mainly because, I mean, it's tough to look forward and try and chase someone down when you've constantly had someone hounding behind you the entire race.
Yeah, that is. And this battle rages on, but also another battle between Drexel University that you've seen. Excuse me, Drexel in the wall in the tri-oval. That was a bad time maybe to cut right there, but Drexel was racing what looked to be Ryan Wilson in the 56. And yeah, both those cars maybe actually... both those cars appearing to be a bit off the pace right there, so we'll see what comes of that as we go back to the front here, Alex.
Yeah, and as this battle continues up front, with some of the cars already coming down pit road, it makes you wonder when any one of these, the lead pack of, 5-10 cars here is going to blink and come down pit road as well. I imagine it could be soon, but also, you know, it's a matter of track position, really, of how far you feel you can outdrive your opponents on these out laps and in laps for coming down pit road. As it looks like Zach DeWale's going to be the first one of that lead group to blink. He's going to come in, get 4 fresh tires on there, and we'll be able to see pretty quickly, I feel like, what the difference of 40 lap fresher tires is going to be whenever DeWale gets back out there in a moment.
Yeah, he'll take that car down for full service, and maybe, man, if this is a 130 or so lap race, and you chop it into about 40 laps, so maybe 3 to 4 pit stops, depending on how many yellow flags we have here are in order. But I'll tell you what is not cooled down, and nobody is saving their tires in this group. Clemson and the University of North Texas have been doing this for what must be 20 laps now, Alex. They have been trying to knock each other out in a really solid run between these two, and I would not be surprised if second place in this race came down to the cars on your screen.
Yeah, I would be hard-pressed to find someone else who wouldn't be in this mix here unless the cautions fell a particular way here, but none to have been found thus far. Williams still trying to hold off Onofre and Halterman here. They're all within a couple of tenths of a second. And I'm wondering if when one of them comes down pit road, if they're all going to come down pit road, or if one of them's going to try and get an extra lap in there or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see, because it's tough for Williams, especially right now, to try and come down pit road with the 199 all over the back of him. I mean, like, you got to be careful to not get run over, but also not speed on pit road here. So it's a bit of a tedious situation, all things considered, I feel like.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very, very clear, whether in text or in voice. These drivers, for reasons exactly like this, Alex, are able to communicate with one another here in iRacing, and he will be saying, pitting in, and you wouldn't always want to do it too soon ahead of time, give away your strategy, but you will want your opponent to give you some space. That's not what you need. A flawless race here from these drivers so far, and you don't need to mar that by getting pushed around and nosed around in pit lane. That's not fun for anyone. So I did see that Connor Levy gave up on his hopes of a yellow flag. He took that 14 car down pit road. Not sure if he cleaned off any of that damage that we saw, Alex, but right there, Cody Hundley, you can see on your screen on pit road, as well as the other Sun Devil looks actually just leaving pit road, Garrett Minton right there. So as these cycle around, we will get the lap times there. It looks like, looks like Drew Williams coming down now.
Yeah, Williams looking like he's finally coming down pit road here. I don't believe either of the other two cars in that pack came down pit road, so Williams will be the first of the three. And DeWale is spinning down the front stretch. The 0-2 is sideways on the front stretch. The caution is out. Oh, man, what a weird turn of events. And there's going to be a couple of cars celebrating like crazy right now, and a couple of cars kicking themselves that they couldn't stay out another lap or two.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who the real winner was, Drew Williams and Clemson. Alex, they came down pit road while it was open, totally legal. They're going to go and make that full stop. They will not lose a lap. They should not lose a lap as this car this field catches back up to the pace car. And everybody will cycle around, and the lead cars will take a pit stop. Drew Williams will not, and if he has maintained his place on the lead lap, I suspect that Drew Williams will be the leader when we all shuffle out, but we've got a lot to figure out right now as these drivers are going to make their time down pit road right now, catching the pace car, and there is Drew Williams, so we'll have to see if he has pitted or not.
Yeah, I'd imagine that he has, but we'll have to see how all this shakes out here. Because he has technically scored the first car a lap down at the moment, but he is bringing him down pit road.
Down, so exciting to see for the 23.
I wonder if pit exit wasn't open when he had to come down. Maybe he's doing a drive-through or something. Either way, we'll see in a moment, I guess, here when he turns into... Oh, he's turning into the box. All right, I guess he did not get into his box before the caution came out, so he ends up actually really not in an advantageous position. It's a big break, though, for Halterman and Onofre to get back up into the mix here with the 13 and Matthew Morton, who had basically been non-existent in that battle since around like lap 6 or 7, because he had just driven away when they were all battling amongst themselves.
Yeah, he did, and we'll see kind of where these tires pan out. I'll tell you who I'm interested. So a couple things as far as Zach DeWale. I wanted to look at his lap times after that pit stop, but right now, Alex, we can take a peek at Zach DeWale. Looks like he came in. He was just trying to work on this Purdue machine. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, so you see the 0-2, he's on the outside there, and things just get a little dicey. Oh, Hundley's coming down pit road, really slowed up. It left the Purdue car with nowhere to go, and just, you know, it looks like the 0-2 got caught in the crossfire there. That's a tough break there. Let's look. It looks like I think that's Millerin who's on the inside of the whale there. And, you know, nowhere really for Millerin to go as Hundley's braking to get down the pit road, and just kind of has to get out of the way in a hurry. And almost navigated it successfully, to be entirely honest with you. Just DeWale was running him so tight trying to make the pass that there was just no room for all three of those cars to occupy the same spot.
Yeah, I think that's totally correct. And if you're Millerin, you know, what do? You're going in the corner. You're more than happy to concede the position outside here. I don't think he was coming to pit road, but Henley was, and maybe the 0-2 car thought, you know, he could use that inside car as a pick, or just I bet they just didn't know that speed differential was coming.
Yeah, I have a feeling that DeWale was like, all right, I'll try and use this guy as a pick. I'll try and keep him behind that and get the run off the corner. And, you know, it's just a tough break because, like, you know, there's only so much you can do in that scenario if you're Jeremy Millerin, if you don't want to, you know, destroy your own car. So I think he handled that about as good as you could in that scenario without running through the 112 of Ken Hundley. But a tough break for Zach DeWale. Luckily, though, just a bit of a spin. No real wall contact, so hopefully the car is in pretty good shape. The tires might be a little rough, but the overall structure of the chassis should be in fine shape.
Yeah, he should be good, and we know that the new damage model, or the newer updated you know, situation on these cars as they take the wave around now, is a little bit more strict, a little bit bigger penalty for those types of damage causing incidents. So good to see the 0-2 there. He'll take that wave around, and he'll get sorted out, but that's going to be the beginning of a recovery race and trying to march back towards the front right there. Currently scored 15th is your biggest loser on that one, Zach DeWale.
Yeah, so even though he got caught up, I mean, running 15th still isn't all that bad, I feel like, all things considered. Like, that could be a far worse break if you get into the wall and have to start repairing it. In the Garage Shop College Cup Series, we do not have any fast repairs. So if your car gets critically damaged, you got to come down pit road and get that thing patched up. Otherwise, your day's going to more or less be over. So a fortunate break there for DeWale with the circumstances there. But pace car peels off down the pit road. It's going to be Morton and Onofre on the front row. Green flag in the air. We are racing once again at Texas, and Thomas Toomey with an aggressive move to the outside early.
Toomey, a good start there. Clint Halterman not giving any room low. Edwin Onofre, man, he's stuck in the middle. That's the University of North Texas. He's trying to get that sorted out. Wiggle, big wiggle from Drexel University. And look who's up there. 007 Wingate University. He's going to try and put that car on the outside. Fresh tires here, so expect Virginia to be aggressive down low here. It's the land of opportunity. Yeah, that job is done already. Didn't even get to the center of the corner, and that is new tires at work, Alex. Man, we're going to see that with a green-white checkered for sure. But up at the front, Edwin Onofre trying to hold off his second position, and that's going to be a big task against the North Carolina at Charlotte driver Clint Halterman.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, the 13 getting hounded by the 199 here, but Clint Halterman not letting either of them get away. Now Thomas Toomey maybe looking to the inside of Halterman, nearly stuck his nose in there, but will have to slide right back in behind the 07. The front four cars all in a bit of a breakaway line here from fifth on back. Now the 166 looks to the inside of Toomey, diving to the inside, trying to make the pass work right along that white line. Kind of runs out of real estate, though, and then slides up the track up front of the 07. What a aggressive move. Thomas Toomey decided that playtime's over here after that first restart. He has really been wheeling the tires off of that thing in the opening couple laps.
Thomas Toomey has certifiably flipped the switch here. He's easily got the nose under the rear bumper of that Buckeye machine. That 13 is now under attack. The Cavaliers have arrived on the scene. The 166 car now, he's going to get in line, maybe cool those tires down just a little bit and stalk his prey a little bit more. But what a move. We'll call it threading the needle inside of the 49ers right there and outside of North Texas. Virginia sneaking through. That's Thomas Toomey, and no surprise there. That driver knows when to calculate, when to turn it on. A little bit back further in the pack right now. Here we go again. Drexel University and Jason Wallet, Alex. This driver is trying to crack the top 5. He's going underneath Wingate University to do it. Can he get the job done on the corner?
Looks like he's going to be able to. Slides up ahead of the 007. Jason Wallet now into the top 5. And now is going to try and use those fresh tires to chase down the 4 cars ahead of him here. As it looks like just ahead, Clint Halterman and Edwin Onofre were in a bit of a battle there off of turns 3 and 4. They've got it sorted now, and now everyone through this lead 7-8 cars is kind of settled down a little bit, except for Zach DeWale back here in 10th. He's looking to the inside of Colin Culpa. This is the battle for 9th. DeWale able to get it done. Already up to 9th from 15th on the restart. That St. Clair College car very motivated right now to get back up into the top 5.
Yeah, and he's got the pace to do it. He is marching forward right now. Probably going to lean on those tires a little bit more than he would like to, Alex. And so his ideal race scenario probably has a couple more yellow flags in it to get those fresh tires. Probably yellow flags that do not involve him. But up at the front here, Kent Hunley is trying to put some defense on the 007 right there. Or is that offense as they try and battle for that 6th position? And so right there you can see the 007. Yeah, I think he's trying to work that outside, that higher lane. But I don't know if he's ready right there. Ooh, kind of closes the door on the 23. And Alex, I will note that the 23 did get trapped a lap down. So you can see on your screen, car in 20th position. That is the 23 of Drew Williams. And yeah, I thought he had an advantage there on that sequence of pit stops when that yellow flag came out. But something did not work out in his favor. Not only is he not in the lead, he is not on the lead lap.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the 23. He is in the lucky dog position if there's another caution that comes out. But right now he's trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way by just driving back through the field here. We see Andrew McCall battling right now. That's with, I believe, Spencer Brown on behind in the 188. This is the battle for 13th as it currently stands, but McCall seems to have under all sorted out. Is now Thomas Toomey looking to the outside, now back inside here on Matthew Morton. This is the most pressure the 13's been under basically all race, and now Halterman trying to get around Thomas Toomey as well. The 166 really adding a bit of spice up here to the top 5 after that opening green flag run. He was right on the bumper of the 13 car, now falling back just a car length or so, but starting to close back in. He always seems to get a really good run through 1 and 2 coming off the exit turn 2 here. Able to do it again and gets right back up to the bumper of the 13. And now Halterman thought about the inside. He'll go against it. Now Toomey to the inside. Can he get a nose in there? Not this time around, but it's not going to stop him from trying, that's for sure.
No, it's not, and we're probably getting to 10 or so laps on these tires, so that excitement that the 166 is having on the bottom has a limited time. Back for the top 5, you can see Drexel University trying to sneak past North Texas. They tried that a couple times. That's driver Jason Wallet, who's right there, but man, cannot break away from this battle for the lead. Alex, it is on right here, and now going up high. That 166 is going to try and get a run down into turn 1, or is it turn 2, where he can get that Cavalier machine down a little bit further and get some pace off the corner.
Yeah, I feel like turns 1 and 2 is where the 166 has been strongest here on this run, but obviously probably at the expense of his tires. But if he's able to kind of keep the 13 within striking distance, whenever they get back on the fresh tires, I'd be really curious to see what happens, because I have no idea how much tires left on the 166 at this point, but I can't imagine it's going to be a lot relative to his competition here with how creative and aggressive his moves have been since the restart. But if there was like a late restart and it's Morton and Toomey 1-2, I would be shocked if Toomey didn't put on a show, because he's really battling right now. And now Jason Willott able to finally clear the 199 just temporarily. Not really out of the woods yet, as Edwin Onofre will pull right back up to the bumper of the 76, definitely looking to get back into fourth place there. But all this has let Hundley and the Williams car get into the mix as well. Williams not on the lead lap, but certainly in the mix with the other cars here, trying to unlap himself. And doing a pretty good job of getting back into the fray here, even if he is currently scored in 20th.
Yeah, scored right now. The first car 1 lap down. That would make him the lucky dog recipient, but would be nice to get that lap back the old-fashioned way, though. I mean, getting up front and getting by Virginia and Ohio State is going to be a little bit tricky, so I don't know quite what the availability is right there. But, yeah, very good battles here up at the front. And not surprisingly, that gap to the leader there on your screen starting to stretch out just a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like Matthew Morton had survived the opening storm and now is finally able to start driving away from Thomas Toomey just a little bit. Toomey now back about 0.6 of a second here, but it is starting to get a little bit of distance from Clint Halterman as well, so everything kind of starting to space out in that lead group except for this battle between Jason Willott and Edwin Onofre. The battle for fourth still rages on fiercely as it has for the past several laps. The 199 really hasn't gone away ever since the 76 got by, and now that North Texas Camaro, or Monte Carlo, I should say, really still trying to find his way back around, but just has not found the winning combination just yet. But you know, we saw that the 199 really had the pace the longer the run went on, so I wonder if he's just biding his time and waiting for that that advantage to kick back in again, if that is the case.
Yeah, that is, and I just saw on my screen a little bit of a bobble at the time, jumping up and down for the 14 car. He was racing that red machine 2 cars up, that's Spencer Brown, and then actually has just fallen back, was ahead at one point, has fallen back behind that car, and now behind the 56 car that he's going to try and get back here. But a little bit of excitement for Levy, and wonder what that was about. But yeah, Connor Levy, the Sun Devil, who was involved in that earlier contact with the outside wall, I think he is probably ready to exit the state of Texas, is Levy and the Sun Devils.
Yeah, the opening half of the race has not been kind to the 14, and it has been the opening half. We are basically halfway through this race here at Legacy, Texas. It has absolutely flown by. Right now we see Clint Halterman on the back of the 166 of Thomas Toomey. He has closed that 0.2 gap back to maybe 2 inches between the 2 cars. All over the back of him here, trying to find a run, maybe down the front stretch, looks maybe to the inside, slides back in behind, just kind of biding his time right now and waiting for either the 166 to mess up or maybe for the 07 to have a really good run. As it looks like a couple of cars are coming down pit lane now. It looks like all of both Purdue and Indiana bringing it down pit road simultaneously. They all came in around lap 35, so they're already kicking off the next pit cycle if they're trying to go off cycle from the rest of the field.
Yeah, they must be working on that big brain plan, but a little bit of a forearm shiver there from the 166. He does not want that 07 to get by. But Alex, I think your question is answered. How many tires are left on that car? I think Virginia used up a lot of their equipment early in the run trying to get to the position they're now in. Did a great job, by the way, picking up those 4 or 5 spots when that green flag dropped. But yeah, now they are on the back foot. They're going to have to play defense. Thomas Toomey is going to have his hands full. It's not the windshield this time, it's the mirror. And he has a face full coming of that 07 car, Clint Halterman.
Yeah, Halterman all over the back of him here as he has been for the past couple laps. But Thomas Toomey has done a really good job to this point of playing defense after that aggressive move. That car gets super loose through 1 and 2. Lucky to keep it off the wall, but he'll lose a ton of momentum. Halterman goes by, Willott and Onofre will go by, and now the 166 will fall all the way back to the 5th position. Brutal luck there for the 166. We were just talking about how well he had been managing those really burnt out tires, and well, you know, commentator's curse strikes again.
Yeah, that's been one of the themes of the season, but I'll tell you what, moving here, Edwin Onofre is not letting go of this Drexel machine. It hasn't been too aggressive to pass, but man, he is filling up that mirror, and if there's any room for error from that Drexel machine, North Texas can pounce right here. But looking a little further back, it's on between a couple of these drivers. This is all for position. Ryan Wilson in Minnesota State. He's moving on the low side. Spencer Brown, ooh, spooked maybe. A little bit of Spencer Brown there on the outside. The Indiana machine, they're going to try and follow that through that hole, but not sure that the hole is there yet. Minnesota State a little bit slow to get around that North Carolina, and a big wiggle right there. Can Indiana capitalize? Indiana will sneak through. Nick Stockner will try and do the same, but Nick Stockner has Dylan Godinez on his outside. Dylan Godinez to the outside of his friend and co-worker. That is Spencer Brown right there, the garage shop machine, and he is trying to make that car work to the inside. Here, now the race is on. A little bit of blocking, but fair play from those two. Down into the corner and through the center of turn 3. It's still on behind the Boilermakers, and the Clemson Tigers are waiting to see who comes out on top of this one. But it looks like Dylan Godinez is going to have the advantage here. Spencer Brown trying to hold off the Purdue Boilermakers, and it's all going on here in the midfield.
Yeah, and the thing with both Culpa and now McCall's, you see him flying on by, those cars pitted early, so they're on fresh tires. So they're on that timer of trying to capitalize while they've got the tire advantage. And really, neither of them were able to clear that with any sort of effectiveness. Now we see Jeremy Miller trying to find his way through, thinking about shooting the middle between Stockner and Spencer Brown. Now looking to the inside this time, gets around Spencer Brown, pulls up to the back of Stockner. Stockner runs him down into the grass. That almost got really dicey, but now Miller will find his way around on the outside and clear the 124. That almost got real ugly in the tri-oval.
Yeah, we know those two are have the best of history between them, and we'll surely be more interested in discussing that in the cool-down room after this one. But it's not getting any cooler here on track. Spencer Brown is going to have Clemson in his rear view, and then Robert Morris University. Let's not forget, a little bit further up the road, the race continues. Connor Levy has got a mirror full of fresh-tired Boilermaker. That's going to be no effort at all around the outside, and yeah, that's new tires. They are on pace here, and you can see a little bit further back in your screen, that is Minnesota State and Ryan Wilson right there. Minnesota State Mankato and Ryan Wilson getting that car worked through. But yeah, suddenly a little bit of excitement, and it's all picking up here in the back.
Yeah, as we see Nick Stockner coming down pit road as well, those tires looked like they had been really protesting as he struggles to get that car controlled coming down pit road. But you could see how clearly the new tires are a lot faster than those who had been out for a while, as we saw Miller fly on by a couple of those cars on older tires. And I'd imagine once a couple of the Boilermakers and the Indiana Hoosier starts flying by some of these lead cars here, they might realize, maybe it's time for me to start thinking about tires as well if there's that much of an advantage on the fresh rubber there. Right now, we're keeping an eye on Thomas Toomey, who has worked his way back into 4th place. He's gotten past Jason Mawat, and now has his eyes set on Edwin Onofre up in 3rd. It's been an up and down stint here for the driver of the 166, putting on some miraculous moves to get up in the 2nd. A really big slide, dropping him back to 5th, and now holding tight in the 4th position, trying to hold off the charging 76 of Jason Watt.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do, but I don't know how many options there are here. That 76 looks pretty good, has been strong, so the 166 did sneak around, but yeah, that position taken back now with authority by Jason Wallet. Those two cars still squarely in the top 5, but a little bit further back it's going on between Austin, DeLong, and Wingate University, and that 22 would love to get around Wingate University and Jake Cummings for that position. That would be the 7th position, and the gap closing ever so slightly. And here down in the corner, and yeah, this Texas Motor Speedway is providing a little bit of racing tonight for us, Alex.
Yeah, it really is. I'll be entirely honest, it's a bit more racy than I would have expected coming into tonight's race, but it's put on a pretty decent show so far throughout the field, up front, in the mid-pack, and toward the back. So nothing to be angry about with it so far. But right now, DeLong's still hanging tight on the back of the 007 there of Jay Cummings. A couple of cars who have not pit yet, but may think about doing so pretty shortly, as Colin Culpa was coming up behind him, and he is on those fresh tires, so I'd imagine it won't be long before he reaches them. Meanwhile here, this is the battle for 11th. Connor Levy doing whatever he can to try and hold off Dylan Godinez. Side by side down the backstretch, Godinez looks low in the turn 3, dives in, able to get the position for now if he can slide up ahead of the 14. Able to do so. Dylan Godinez now up into 11th. Connor Levy, though, right on his bumper coming off of turn 4. Will he be able to reel him back in going into turn one? Does not seem like it for now, but you never know what this corner may hold.
No, you don't. Those two pretty sorted out for now. Thomas Toomey has fallen a little bit back to 6th, so that car continuing to do the opposite of what that team wants. And yeah, I think that short run there, he really needed a second yellow to get that back under control. Those tires, I think, got used up a little bit prematurely. That's an option. But I'll tell you what that is, Alex, is that's great awareness for Virginia and for everybody else. If we have a green-white checker, that's going to come into play. And everybody else saw what Toomey did to get that car moving forward, and you can bet that it's going to be supreme chaos if we do come down to the final laps. But right now, Jason Wallet leads the way for this group.
Yeah, you could. I think if there's anything we can take away from that stint there from the 166, is that a lot of cars, I think, just got a lot of information on what you could do on fresh tires versus fresh tires if you're willing to really burn them out quickly. And if there's a short stinted restart at the end of the race, I could see a lot of people really going aggressive with it. And when everyone starts going aggressive, there's a high chance for chaos and an even higher chance for danger. But we'll cross that bridge if we get to it. Right now, Jason Willott trying to hold back Ken Hundley. This is the battle for 4th here. Ken Hundley had been kind of hanging around the top 10 a good bit of the day, but now has worked his way up into the top 5 here, that 112, all over the back of the 76 right now, trying to sneak his way by as the second running alumni right now. We'd definitely love to catch up to Edwin Onofre and trying to have that battle for the alumni class win.
Yeah, that would be exciting between those two. We saw a lot of pace from that 112 car at Rockingham in the second race of the season, Alex. So we know that Hundley and Northeast State Technical, we know that they have it. But I'll tell you what else I've been watching is Austin DeLong has been working for laps on Wingate University, still trying to get around that machine. And man, yeah, he looking low, looking high, but it just seems to be there for 007. He's got it, trying to crossover move, but do you want to carry the momentum down? Yeah, I don't think he's got the run off the corner. Now he's got issues up top. Some of the new tires on that McCall machine, that is the Boilermaker from Purdue. And through the middle,
Ooh,
Zach DeWale. Zach DeWale through the middle. He's got it done right there. Man, what a move. The look of concentration. Zach DeWale, he tries to sneak it through right there and does so. Alex, that was a move.
That wasn't just a move. That may have been the move. I don't know if I've seen a more impressive pass in quite some time. Chalking off 3 cars at once through the middle on fresh tires, man. Just, weaseled his way right on through. Man, that was impressive. I'm almost at a loss for words. That's how cool that was to watch.
That was impressive, but here we've got to, now he's going to get the chance to do it again, because what is this mess? Drexel up at the front and a big wiggle out of what I think is Northeast State Technical. Those cars will drop back. Clemson sneaks through. The Hoosiers try and work through, and now it's up to St. Clair College. Zach DeWale will try and do it again. A little bit easier this time. He's got room to work, but you can see nowhere to go for that 100 machine. Will it be 3 wide down into turn 3? They're going to try their best. It's going to be all to play down in turn 3 and coming to the line. Looks like 3.5 wide right now. DeWale on the bottom. The Hoosiers in the middle. Can they make it work off the corner? Drexel giving a lot of room up top. That's Jason Wallet. Down to the line on the grass was the 23, and that's actually going to be a little bit of loss of traction right there. And so down into turn 1, it looks like it's Indiana right now, but that driver is going to have to get away, because here comes the man of the hour here. This is the 02, Zach DeWale, and there's nothing like new tires on that car. The 02 going to actually, the Colin Coppola pitted with his Apollo teammates, and so not old tires on that car either. But man, Zach DeWale has turned on the grip hacks right now. He is on a mission forward, but a little bit further back, these drivers are battling up front. And the Boilermakers again, Purdue trying to get around the outside, and look who is there. It is Virginia, who is trying to make their way around their ACC opponent, Clemson, and that is Drew Williams, who is on the lead lap currently. He's just trying to get his way forward.
Yeah, that was a whole gaggle of cars there on varying states of lead lap. Some were on the lead lap, some were a lap down. They're closing up here on the Robert Morris car, who's currently scored a lap behind that group. So everything kind of getting spread out here with only the one caution. Everyone kind of in different states of affair. A number of cars have come down pit lane, but not all of them, as now we see McCall trying to pass Thomas Toomey on the inside, able to make it go, and now closing back in on the 23 of Andrew Williams. There's been so much that's happened in the past couple laps, it's hard to keep track of. Here comes the 166 and the 112 down pit road, though. They are both bringing in here, and now there's only a couple of cars left on that lead group that has not come down pit road. And that list continues to shrink. Matthew Morton very much in control here, 6 seconds ahead of Edwin Onofre. Part of that being because Clint Halterman has come down pit road, who had been running second. Now Morton will bring it down pit road as well. This will more or less conclude the pit cycle here once everyone cycles through.
Yeah, this will bring the pit cycle. You can see there on your screen, a couple cars that will complete their out laps. They'll get that done. But look who the big mover is, Zach DeWale, from that little issue earlier. He's going to cycle out. He's going to move up as well. 7th currently, but that number is going up as we go forward. The leader on pit road, your current leader, has not pitted yet. That is Edwin Onofre right there. And maybe he will bring it down this time as we cycle through pits. You can see the Indiana machine and Robert Morris machine leading the way right there. And yeah, that's going to be a pit entrance there for the University of North Texas. Working down, looks like Austin DeLong is also, barely makes it there inside the cone and picking up a position on the inside. That's the 76. That's Jason Wallet and Drexel University. So those are your leaders. They're coming down pit road. Timothy Wilms is doing the same. And Alex, my goodness, look who is going to cycle through to be your leader once he comes across the line past pit road. He might have to pass these cars on their out lap, but your leader here, who should be scored a little bit higher, is Zach DeWale. You see it there on your board. What a move to get there. The St. Clair College driver. You know, many moons ago, we saw him taking the fight to Jared Kaler, to the North Carolina team, North Carolina at Charlotte there. We said, this guy is going places. And he has gone from backwards across the pit entrance to the front of this Texas race. And man, he is looking at those laps count down. Almost 100 laps, Alex, down of this 133 lap race. And that is how you make your way forward if you are Zach DeWale.
Absolutely. The pressure will be coming on in a few laps here, though, as Matthew Morton on one of the fresher tires on the field will probably close into him in a couple of laps here. That being said, though, the rally back from 15th on that last restart to still being in the hunt for the win has been an impressive piece of work from Zach DeWale. And if there was to be a caution that falls at a weird time here, he would be right back in the mix for the win. So he might not have the pace if this stays green all the way to the end, but he will certainly be in the mix if there isn't a caution, and will be very much so if there is a caution.
Yeah, and so let's, I'm gonna say two things here, Alex, and then it would be maybe an opportunity to take a run through the field. But you can see on your screen, Indiana, Purdue, and Purdue actually in 7th that have made their way through. They pitted early, remember, so they had that pace early, and now they have worked their way up into the top 10. The downside of that, being off sequence, Alex, as NASCAR aficionados will be aware, their tires on screen, 30 laps on their tires each. That's not what you need.
That got really close from the 02 and the 13 coming off of turn 2. Sorry to cut you off there, Josh, but Matthew Morton goes around the outside on those fresh tires. He'll move back into the lead here, but that almost collected the 02 and the 13 coming off of turn 2 for a moment.
Yeah, it almost did. That was a bit tricky right there, and well cited, Alex. But yeah, that's going to be the detriment for some of those Indiana and Purdue teams, that Big Ten runners right there. But yeah, back in second position is going to be Zach DeWale. He's going to have his hands full of Clint Halterman and North Carolina at Charlotte coming up. But yeah, you mentioned it, Alex. New leader, the Ohio State Buckeyes, and that's not the first time we've said that this season.
No, it is not. It's not even the first time we've said that this race. He's been in control for the majority of it. But yeah, I say we have a moment here. Probably we can do a quick rundown of the field. So Matthew Morton for Ohio State currently in the lead. 2.5 seconds back, it is Zach DeWale of St. Clair College on a great comeback drive from the early half of this race. In third, it's Clint Halterman out of UNC Charlotte. He's been hanging around that top 5 all day, been putting together a really good run. Fourth is Edwin Onofre, another car who's just kind of been in the mix all day today and has had a pretty solid effort himself. Fifth is Colin Kolpa. Oh, the caution's out. What's the caution out for?
The caution is out, and I don't see anybody tumbling down the flag right there. We'll have to see what that was for. I saw Ohio State maybe with the ticker out by their name, but not sure what the yellow is out for. We will get it here in a moment, Alex. But yeah, we'll have plenty of time now to run down through the field here. They may end up with some pit stops that will cycle us out, but
I'm sure Indiana and Purdue will definitely be taking advantage of this pit stop. I'd imagine Zach DeWell and St. Clair College will likely do the same. For the cars who have only been on those tires for like 5-10 laps, though, I wonder if they think about coming in or not. Because track position's pretty important here, but we've seen those fresh tires really go to work, even if there hasn't been a huge lap differential. So, not entirely sure, but we'll just have to wait and see how it all shakes out. But I am really curious to see if we can find where that caution took place.
Yeah, not sure, but I will say that's somebody that's going to want to come down and get 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Excuse me, I think it's General tires on these cars, but we'll have to check. But Thomas Toomey and Virginia, they're going to want to make their way down pit road. There are some tire set limits, but it looks like, oh man, everybody is coming down here. So it's going to be full on in pit lane, and we'll see if everybody can hit their marks, do what they need to, and do a very good pit stop, because this is going to be an opportunity for everybody here on your screen.
Yeah, it looks like the first car who doesn't come down pit road was Austin DeLong. I'm not sure if he was on the lead lap at the time of caution, so maybe he wasn't allowed to come down pit road yet. But just about everyone who was in that lead lap group is coming down pit road for fresh tires. They might be seeing it as their last chance to put 4 fresh tires on there before we hit the end of this race here, depending on how this shakes out with only 2 cautions through the opening 101 laps. But Matthew Morton able to hold serve here, coming off pit road first. Zach DeWale second, Clint Halterman third, so no change through the top 3 when it comes to the race off of pit road. But we'll have to see if people like DeLong and Stockner still need to come down pit road, or if they just stayed out, because that could really throw a wrench in the plans of that lead group there with a couple of guys on old tires ahead of them.
Old tires and not be in the control car, and I'll tell you that's the classic scenario. You're going to spin those tires up in that position, but we'll see if these drivers come down. Nothing like a bit of excitement here on the pace lap to try and get sorted out.
It looks like Stockner is, but DeLong is not. So Austin DeLong will inherit the lead of this race by the call to stay out. I tell you what, Stockner coming down pit road benefits, I think, Matthew Morton more than anybody, because now there's no one on old tires in front of him. But for everyone else in the field, there will be someone ahead of them. Particularly if you're Zach DeWale, you're in a tough spot because the car in front of you is on old tires, but the people you're racing against are not.
Yeah, that is correct. It looked like there was a little bit of contact. Got some word that there was contact to bring out the yellow. We'll see if that happened. The 56 right now trying to attack the 124, looking to the outside, sideways, big trouble. That's going to be the yellow flag. And, man, just a little bit loose right there from the 56 car. That is Ryan Wilson from Minnesota State.
They both looked a little out of sorts coming off the corner there. The 124 really was laboring through 1 and 2, and the 56 was coming with a full head of steam. And neither of them really got off the corner, I'm sure, the way they would have liked, and it led to a pretty heavy bit of contact for both cars, because you see the 124 really just struggling through the corner. The 56 tries going the long way around, and then they just kind of meet each other.
Yeah, that's not the clean pass that they were probably looking for right there, but they'll be able to rack back up and get sorted. But back up at the front, I think that car is not 1 lap down. Austin DeLong will be the control car here. So, yeah, you mentioned it, Alex. And if you have just tuned in, an absolute brilliant last 70 laps here of these 100. Man, it took about 30 laps, Alex, for everybody to get warmed up, and then they decided that they were just going to treat this as maybe the final 10 laps to go for since the midpoint of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. So with this being about, it'll be 30 laps to go when they hit the line here, which was about as long as that opening stint before anyone thought about coming down to take tires. So you really have to be careful here if you're in that lead group, because like there's not a ton of time left, so you need to force a move if you're not in the lead, but there's enough time left for you to burn your tires out too early and then really fall back in the final 5-10 laps of the race. So I'm really curious to see how these drivers are going to handle it, especially Austin DeLong, who's on a bit of older tires than the rest of the field here. But the pace car has peeled off to pit road. 30 laps to go at the stripe. Green flag is in the air, waiting for the 22 to hit the gas. He'll do so, but the 13 gets a really good jump on those fresh tires. And by the time they hit turn 1, he'll jump right on in there. Zach DeWale looks to the inside of the 22. He'll force it 3 wide. The 22 slides up in front of the 07. People are sideways. Zach DeWale nearly lost it. There's a log jam coming off the corner. How did AO keep it sorted there? 4 wide in the 3.
4 wide into 3. Now they got it down to 2 wide. There's the 166. We saw his moves earlier in this one. He's going to slot down in front of Indiana. On the outside is St. Clair College. That driver is going to try and make a move forward. Had a big wiggle off to the outside right there. And also North Texas, they had a pretty good restart trying to get sorted out. The restart that we expected from the 22. Big sideways right there. Contact! And he went around. The 166 made contact right there. That was not what you needed. And those 2 cars are going to, that will conclude the flawless race for those 2. And man, I think that the 166 was just trying to stand in it off the corner. And man, had we been in those next-gen cars, the car of tomorrow with those bumpers lined up, maybe a different ending. But here in these Gen 4 next-gen cars, that is the result. Pushing is not a recommended activity, and that was what we had out of the corner right there.
What also probably doesn't help is if that's any other car other than Austin DeLong, he might have been able to get away with that, but with DeLong being on the older tires, it's the only car that wasn't going to have that launch off the corner, and you could see just a little bit of a mistimed move, and that ends up in catastrophe for both of those cars. Heavy contact for the 006 as well. Or sorry, not the 100. Sorry, I forgot Colin Kolpa changed his number this season after winning the Alumni Championship. But yeah, heavy contact for that Indiana machine as well. To see the 22 gets turned right off there, and that's what sends him flying, is that contact with Kolpa. So 3 main cars involved there: the 166, the 22, and the 100. And that'll probably put a damper on all 3 of those cars trying to get it done. That whole restart was chaos, with DeWale getting super loose through 1 and 2, and then, you know, the whole 4 wide in the turn 3, and then this coming off of turn 2 on the next lap. It just, everyone decided that the gloves were off and they were going to start throwing haymakers, I guess.
And we knew that it's so hard to kind of handle those complications from the control car that does not have. You saw it there on the restart live, where that 22 went and he was not able to get picked up. And in fact, I wondered if the 13 car, Ohio State, crossed the start-finish line before the 22 did, but I don't see any black flags, so I suppose not.
It was definitely close, because while the 22 obviously hit the gas first, spun the tires a little bit because they were a bit older, and they got to the stripe like at the same time. So if there was an issue, maybe it wasn't called. If there wasn't an issue, it was timed perfectly.
I was going to say, I think that is a testament. If successfully done, I think that's a testament to Matthew Morton there, his talent trying to move forward. He was not wasting time back there in that scenario. And man, I feel deprived of the rest of that action. But yeah, the 166 just not wanting to lift off that corner, and maybe you're not sure how far that nose was. Maybe you assumed that the 22, you just a little bump and run off the corner, move that car out of the way. But yeah, we're not at Martinsville, Alex, and at a 160 that these cars are exiting the corner full on the gas, and we know the 22 had worn tires. That was not going to be the result that panned out. Pretty physical play from those 2, but yeah, and exactly, Indiana and the Hoosiers, what can you do? You're following that. We rode on board You're following those drivers through the hole, and then suddenly the hole is closed, and there's a car perpendicular. So not much to do there for Colin
In
Copa. Man,
in my CIL career, that happened to me a number of times. Where I'm like, oh, there's a gap. Never mind. No, there's not. It can just close so quickly on you, and there's like nowhere to go because the moment a car turns sideways on the straightaway, I mean, it's covering a lot of the track surface, and unless you throw yourself into the wall to avoid them, you're probably going to hit them yourself. So, a tough turn of events there for the Indiana driver, but life will move on without those three cars up at the front of the field. It'll certainly give Zach DeWale a second opportunity to not nearly go sideways through 1 and 2 on the restart here. It also gives a couple new players an opportunity to get their shot at the lead. You see Jake Cummings there in the second row on the inside, that 007 car. He had not really been in the top 5 most of the evening, but now finds himself in perfect striking distance with almost 25 laps to go.
yeah, that's what he's going to try and do. And the big key here is who can get the best jump. Obviously, the 13. I bet the 13 will be a car length away by the time we get off turn 2 here for this restart. But it'll really be a matter of can everybody else in your shot hold off a big battle for a couple laps until they can kind of work up to the lead and collectively work on that leader. They will have to use their heads a little bit if they are going to get around Matthew Morton there in the Buckeye machine. But I'll tell you the other thing that I noticed. 2 things quickly, Alex. 8 laps on some of those tires, and they felt the need to get them changed. And then finally, everybody on equal tires there in the top 10, and we are coming to the green flag this time.
Pace car peels off, green flag in the air once again. Gonna try this restart one more time. The 13 hits the gas, but Halterman honestly holds with him fairly well. Will slot right back in behind him. And as they dive into turn 1, that 13 really is pulling away, but here comes Halterman and Jake Cummins trying to reel him back in.
Halterman lost a little bit of ground, not able to get down to the bottom. Zach DeWale trying to go to work right there. You can see everybody in your shot. It looks like a little bit of room up to the leader, but Zach DeWale continues to play a little bit of defense right now on Drexel University, who is trying to get around St. Clair College. A little bit further back, the Boilermakers. That is Andrew McCall. He's trying to work, but underneath, can Zach DeWale get the job done? He's going to try and look low.
Halterman's going for the pass on the lead here. He is all over the back bumper of Matthew Morton. That 07 has decided that if there's any time to try and make something happen, it's going to be right now as they start fanning out on the backstretch right behind him. All the bets are off at this point. Edwin Onofre trying to get up to Clint Halterman, who's just trying to hang on to the back bumper of Matthew Morton. But that 13 is starting to check out already a 3/10 gap.
Yeah, he is. And back there, Clint Halterman now, this is what we talked about. He's going to have to play a little bit of defense and really manage what's going on. Suddenly, 0-2, that is Zach DeWale. He's got an opportunity to move forward up underneath. Kent Hunley as well, the top of your screen, is going to make the move. The move done for the 0-2. Can North Texas come back? I don't see it happening. A little back further in fact, well, on the outside, maybe I stand corrected. North Texas trying to work through their way on the outside. I was going to say Kent Hunley did secure that 5th position for Northeast State Technical, but they have some defense to play against Drexel. And after all that work, the Arizona State Sun Devils get a car up in the top 10. 7th place right now belongs to Garrett Fitton, who's going to have defense to play against Andrew McCall, who's a little bit wide there. Jake Cummings giving some room into that first turn, and actually Drexel University falling back a little bit. Jason Wallet falling back, and the battle rages up front, but the gap has stretched out for your leader.
Yeah, once again, Matthew Morton pulling away from the chaos behind him. He's about a half a second ahead here as Zach DeWale has reeled in Clint Halterman trying to make this pass for second. Meanwhile, Edwin Onofre really running Kent Hunley all the way down to the white line there, trying to hold on to the 4th position. And that big block has let Jason Wallet get back into the picture here for this battle of 4th, 5th, and 6th. Northeast State Technical all over the back bumper of North Texas right now, trying to find anything he can do to get by. Everyone trying to find their passes now because there's not much time left. Less than 20 laps to go in this race here. And it's really coming down to the wire for a lot of these cars. And everyone's trying to stake their final claim here before it gets too late to really make any passes happen when the field starts to fan out again.
Yeah, this is really exciting now because everybody's on fresh tires and trying to make moves. It's going to be really exciting in 15 laps as Northeast State Technical works down low when everybody has no tires and needs to get positions. But right now, that 112, man, Ken Hunley, we saw the pace at Rockingham. He's going to try and get the job done here on the low side. We know these tires are probably fresh enough to do that. And University of North Texas, Edwin Onofre running really close right there. He knows what's at stake. And it looks like not much ado. The 112 just too fast on that low side, and the door has been open for Drexel as well. That's Jason Wallet. He's going to try and sneak by on the low side, Alex. Ooh, bit of a wiggle on that white line.
Yeah, they are side by side, bumper to bumper, rail to rail right now as they dive back into turn number 3. Wallet trying to get the pass done on the inside. Hunley just ahead of him. That 76 doesn't get a great entry, but he might be able to pull a good bit of ground coming off the exit. You can see he's going by just a little bit there as they cross the stripe. Really going to have to launch it into turn 1 here, trying to make this pass stick, but Edwin Onofre just stays right to that door, just glued to the side of the 76 right now, not giving him any room to breathe.
Edwin Onofre not slowing down, and it's getting about 10 laps on these tires, and that is when that outside line starts to come in, and it's going to be for that North Texas crew. So I was going to say a carbon copy behind Drew Williams has made his way around Garrett Vitton.
He's back on the lead lap and back in the hunt. He spent a good chunk of this race off the lead lap when he got trapped on pit road during that first caution, but now he finds himself knocking on the door of the top 5 once again.
Yeah, and there he goes. He's going to try and sneak in. That's 6th position for him. Oh, look at the 42 trying to get up. That 42 knows where the speed is. He's going to try and get the run in that Sun Devil machine off the corner. He's got to clear the 76, though, and I thought he might have a little bit more pace on the exit than that. Jason Wallet finding a little bit of speed on the bottom of that corner exit, and what a move right there. Looks like he's going to get that done, and suddenly this battle between Arizona State and, oh, big block right there. I don't know if that was 100% from Drexel, but it doesn't matter. We're inside 15 to go right now. And, man, Drexel University putting the block on right there. He doesn't want to be passed. ETSU, we talked about Cody Hunley waited basically his whole time. We saw him at the beginning of the race. He was going the wrong way. Now he's going the right way. ETSU, that's East Tennessee State University. The Buccaneers are up to the front of this gaggle, and that will be 7th position. And, man, a mirror full of Sun Devil and a little bit of wall right there for the 76. He's going to go low and defend, and it's all going on right now. Up in the front, Kent Hunley plays a little bit of defense, but that battle not as close as this one. Garrett Vitton, Jason Wallet is still trying to play defense on that low side, Alex.
Yeah, Jason Wallet has had his hands full the past couple laps here, just trying to hold on to any position he can. Oh, there's someone sideways. Edwin Onofre in the wall in turn 1. The 199 was all over the back of the 112. That was the battle for 4th. And now it looks like with only 11 laps to go, his day could be done.
That is heartbreak for the University of North Texas. They wanted to win this one. Edwin wanted to win this one. He really likes this track and had the pace, had a really good finish coming on, but we'll have to see what happened. That is not what you want, but it is a product of these drivers here. Just no, what do you want to say, no room for error, very little patience here on the track, and there would be. But as you go into the corner, it looks like 199 contact there from the 23. And man, Drew Williams, I don't know if, I'm sure the 23 will say that the 199 checked up on corner entry, and the 199 will say he was hit from behind, and both drivers should be saying that. But man, I do not know about that one.
Yeah, that was, you know, there's an old wrestling term of really laying in the heavy leather when you start stomping someone, and that was the racing equivalent of it. I mean, just drove through the back corner of the 199. My best guess is that he probably thought the 199 was going to go all the way down to the white line and just tried going up around them, and instead just got a whole handful of bumper and then just drove on through it. I mean, the amount of speed the 23 was carrying into that corner to begin with was insane compared to the 112 or the 199. I mean, that 23 car was flying.
Yeah, he was. And man, looking at the 199, there's a Northeast State Technical was just out the windshield from the 199, and I would say Edwin was gaining on that car, even into the corner under braking. Right, you would catch up a little bit, but nonetheless, I mean, yeah, I think Drew Williams was just trying to make a move on the outside, miscalculated, as you say, and that was the result there. These drivers coming off pit road, and we do see Ohio
Oh, wait.
State is no longer the leader. The race off pit road goes to the North Carolina at Charlotte 49er Niner Esports. You can see there on that car, Clint Halterman will be your control car. And just when we did not have enough excitement already, Alex, we are here.
Yeah, that we are. I wonder, is it possible if we could check if he took 2 tires? Because I'm trying to think of how he could have gotten out that far ahead of the OSU car. And the only thing I'm thinking of is if he went a different strategy or if he stayed out. Or if the 13 had an issue in his bit box. But, you know, he's been pretty good about him all season, so I'm not entirely sure if that would have been the case. But because Jake Cummings is also in second, Matthew Morton is not going to be on the front row, which is going to be absolutely pivotal, all things considered. So we see them coming into the box here. Oh, and the 13 overshoots. No, wait, the 07 overshot.
Actually, the 07 did overshoot, and I think that is correct to your point. Just making it front. You see that that left side
Yeah, it looks
never
like a
goes up.
2-tire stop.
2 tires,
Yeah.
and the same for Wingate. And so that will be very exciting for those drivers to see.
It puts a lot of pressure now on the 13 because he's not going to be in the front row. Matthew Morton is going to have to find his way around someone in the corner here. And taking right side tires will mean Halterman and Cummings aren't going to be, you know, like roadblocks. They're going to have a fair bit of pace here. And with such a short window to the end of this race, that could be the winning strategy.
That could be, and a break here. Under yellow, Clemson and Andrew Williams did come up on the ticker. Was there contact? It's like this driver trying to pull down. Yes, maybe just a driver checking their settings, making sure that everything is in order there. Sometimes that happens here in the sim world, but never a shortage of excitement. Drew Williams working his way back up to those positions, but yeah, a look now at the front row. Lights off on the pace car, and Alex, we are coming down to it. This is going to be. We're just in turn 2 right now, but this is going to be a restart with Wingate University. You know, and I say heartbreak for the 199 car, but good on 007 and Wingate University getting up there to the front at the end of this one. They have earned it throughout this season, and they will be doing battle against Niner Esports right there. And man, they've got to get a good jump, because if there is a hole, that 13 machine will fill it.
Not only that, I mean, you look to the car to the outside, that is also Zach DeWale on 4 fresh tires alongside the 13. He's had really good pace today as well. So if you spin those tires even slightly on that front row, that could be your chance gone immediately, because you've got 2 really fast cars right behind you. But, you know, with two fresh tires on the right side, it might be enough to get the job done if you can maintain position through that opening corner. Pace car peels off, less than 8 laps to go here. Green flag's in the air. Halterman gets the launch. Oh, and there's contact on the restart.
And it's all around here. That is
no.
the 13. That is Wingate University. Robert Morris involved right there on your screen. A number of other drivers.
Matthew Morton and Zach DeWale got, like, can openered by the 007. Oh, no. Devastation for some of the fastest cars in the field. And right now, Clint Halterman, I can't even imagine what's running through his head. He was getting ready to have to defend like a lion, and now all of a sudden, all of his competition disappeared.
That is, and man, I don't know if we have enough angles on this replay to see what's going on, but yeah, coming back to this is the restart as it was. We'll start with a big high view. You can see that big blue machine on the outside. Yeah, big wheel. You know what? 07. The 007 spun the tires and turned hard left, and we'll see if we can get another look at that. But yeah, that was not what you want. Oh, the 42 involved. That's Arizona State. That was the front-running Sun Devil car. So, oh man, not the
Just
Texas race that Arizona State
every
wanted.
car from second back to 10th either made contact initially or got run down into the grass to try and avoid contact. No one was really safe. We'll take the onboard here, the 007, and you'll see when he hits the gas, he keeps it forward for a moment, and then there's a little bit of extra wheel spin trying to get through the tri-oval, collects the 13, collects the 02, and it just becomes calamity from there.
That is the perfect noun to describe what we are witnessing. That was a mess right there. And you can see a couple of these other drivers just nowhere to go if you're in the middle of this. And man, coming through right here, yeah, the Sun Devils were up front. You can see the 42 and 14. 14 had worked his way forward from such a rough race. Actually, a bit of a slip right there from Kent Hundley. That gave him an opportunity to survive that. No, yeah, nowhere to go if you're the Sun Devil. And of course, you can't see anything in that position. So that is not.
I mean, if you're any of those cars, you can't see, anything that's happening there. There's all you see is smoke and carnage. I mean, that's brutal. And when this thing gets going again, I wonder, will it trigger the green-white checkered there, Josh?
Yeah, not sure. The green-white checkered will kick in when that ticker up top is about 131, I think. So we might actually we might have a green-white checkered sequence without the official green-white checkered if we do kick it off this lap. We'll see if iRacing decides to line up the cars at this point in time. They come across the line, but it looks like straight away it's going to be, and the lights are off. Yep, so here we go this time by. But Niner Esports will again be your control car.
I wonder if
the lights are back on.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it looks like they turned the lights back on here.
So
I wonder I wonder if it needs an extra minute here to try and get that all figured out. I wouldn't blame them. I mean, it's a lot to unpack there. Not gonna lie. I do not envy the stewards there, because obviously, where it started, but it's the ripple effect is wide reaching.
Yeah, that is true, and perhaps in iRacing, passing on the left before the start line is a black flag here, as it is in NASCAR procedure. And so, yeah, anybody who ended up kind of going low of that whole checkup before the official yellow was thrown, is going to be saying, clear my black flag. And yeah, that's going to be a full-time job and maybe some overtime for our stewards right now. Of course, nothing like some excitement before the race comes down to the end. But yeah, this will probably put us into green-white checkered territory, even if unofficially here, the lights on the pace car. So we'll see what the pace car does. But yeah, straight away, Alex, it's looking like Halterman, Hundley, Wallet are going to be your top three. Finishing that top five are going to be Cody Hundley again. So a pretty good run for the Hundley brothers there. And then University of North Texas, Edwin Onofre. So good on North Texas in the top five right now, but I assume that
they've rallied back pretty good, all things considered.
Yeah, there might be a bit of damage. Yeah, you see that rear quarter panel is not as aerodynamic as it once was, but here in these cars, we'll see if he can manage. Of course, now it's going to be down to two tires, and I assume that this
someone here is going to be able to, I won't necessarily say steal a win, but with the 13 car being involved and having to drop back to 16th, I mean, we see some cars in the top five who have not been in the top five basically all day. Cars like Cody Hundley or Jeremy Miller, and Andrew McCall's in there. Edwin Onofre's back, but he's got damage. Timothy Wilms is hanging in the top 10. Like, there is a number of names who have not been up front who now suddenly find themselves up front, and this could be a spicy sequence here. The unofficial green-white checkered here, as they'll come to the line with only 2 to go. Pace car peels off for perhaps the final time. Halterman will bring him to the stripe. Green flag in the air. They are launching once again. Halterman trying to get away, but here comes Kent Hundley on the outside.
Hundley's going to work on the outside, and he's going to have to play some defense first on Drexel University, but now he's got into the corner. He's got that car down, and he might have a run as he exits right here. Yeah, a gaggle behind, but we'll stick with the leaders for the time being. These drivers are going to come to the right. White flag this time by Clint Halterman, building up a nice gap right now, but Kent Hundley and Jason Wallet going to be in hot pursuit. Big slide out of Kent Hundley, Alex, as they come to the white flag.
They're closing in. Here comes the 112 and the 76. Hunley now right onto the tail of the '07. 1 lap to go here as they come off of turn 2. The 112 is there. He is on the back bumper looking to the inside of Halterman. Hunley now going to dive to the inside, trying to find his way around. Side by side in turn 3. They nearly make contact coming off of 4. Here they come, the corner exit. Kent Hunley's got a nose ahead, racing through the tri-oval. It is Kent Hunley for Northeast Technical College, or Northeast State Technical, picks up the win on a last lap pass. The 112 able to steal away the victory in dramatic fashion.
Wow, the 112, a very good and a very powerful love tap there from his brother. But man, what a move right there. Just power moves for the 112. He was able to make that move around the inside. We saw it earlier, all race long on those restarts, Alex, where the bottom was just the play on new tires. Kind of surprised there, but that North Carolina at Charlotte left that bottom open. But I mean, coming off the corner, there's not much you can do there, and you really got to guess where your opponent is going to go. So, all in all, a thrilling way to finish this one. And 112, Kent Hunley, he's going to park it there on the start-finish line. And what an exciting run for all these drivers up front.
What a run at the end. What a race, honestly. I mean, there was action all throughout the field, all race long. High drama, some really cool passing involved, a dramatic finish. I mean, I don't know what more you could ask for in a race, to be entirely honest with you. That checked all my boxes.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. I think that was right on. And man, what a race from those guys, and very exciting to see them coming through and figuring out how to get to the end there. There was a lot of I don't know if we can say there was a lot of patience, Alex, but I will say if you watch those front runners over the beginning of the race, there was a lot of opportunity for them to lose their heads. They didn't, and they prevailed, which put them in that spot. And good on Jason Wallet there, your third place finisher. That was a very good move from him, or good run from him. And Drexel University, who was able to come away with a good position after what may have been a very hard-fought race tonight. But yeah, he got the job done well.
Yeah, what a finish, what a race, honestly. And before we get into the final grid here, we'll have an opportunity to talk to a couple of our podium finishers. So the first person I guess we'll have the opportunity to talk to is our third place finisher tonight. It is Jason Wallet from Drexel University. Jason, congrats on the podium. What did you see on that final restart? Jason, you got us?
Yeah, I got you. Hunley and Halterman just got away and I couldn't catch him in time. Honestly, considering the fact I got damaged and I know this car is very aerosensitive, I'm honestly pretty lucky I got P3. This sounds like be a pretty good point today for student and overall championships.
Yeah, that was very well done, Jason. And man, what chaos there that we saw at the end. But throughout the race, it appeared that new tires were very useful, especially early in the run. We saw a lot of moves. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I went into the race knowing this thing would cannibalize tires, so every time there was a caution, I'd pit and be able to pass everyone easily on newer tires.
Yeah, that seemed to be the case for new tires all race long. Before we let you go tonight, is there anybody that you want to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, thanks to Drexel for sponsoring me. Thanks to everyone at home in my hometown for backing me, and congrats on Tim for doing so well.
Yeah, very well. Well, congratulations, Jason and Drexel University on third place tonight. It was very hard fought and very well earned. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That was, third place finisher of Drexel University. Man, keeping all the fenders on that car tonight, Alex. Jason Wallet bringing that car home on the side of the podium.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not an easy feat with how that race ended, but an impressive run for him. And also an impressive run tonight for our second place finisher, the '07 of Clint Halterman. Clint, congrats on the podium, but I'm sure this is definitely not where you'd like to have ended up given where you restarted that final restart.
Yeah, I was I was on two tires there, and I was kind of hoping there. I on the last pit stop, I overshot my box, and I quickly unchecked the left side tires, take right side. I just wanted to just go. I wanted to go for the win. Um, and I was gonna finish second, I guess, basically anyways. So yeah, I got
Were
it.
you planning on taking four if you didn't overshoot the box?
Oh yeah, I was gonna take four. I was thinking about staying out. I just wanted to do anything I could do to try and win the race, and I overshot the box and then immediately put in reverse, unchecked the left sides, and then took two tires. And then I got lucky on that the one restart where they all piled up. That's exactly what I was hoping would happen. And then I just needed like a little bit more grip off of two on that last lap, and I might have been able to hang on to it, but just didn't quite have it.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you kudos for having the wherewithal to change strategies that quickly. I think if that was me, I just would have panicked.
Yeah, I just want anything to get the win. I was tired of running second to Matthew every single race, it feels like at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, what a move, Clint. And man, a hard fought second position, but maybe not what you hoped for there at the end. The tires tonight seem to be at a premium. Was it the right front or the right rear that was most popular that drivers were having to save?
It was definitely the right front. I think like both those long green flag runs, my right front was at like 20 something percent. The right rear definitely was you definitely had to look after that too. But that I think you couldn't just solely drive off the right rear because you it definitely was it was kind of weird. You were definitely tight. I was really tight in like center one and two. It was really hard to turn, but then it was also getting kind of loose off the corners. You could feel the grip sliding away when you got off the corners. So right front was definitely the priority, but you also had to make sure you were keeping those rear tires on the car as well.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on finishing this race, which was a feat by itself, and doing so in second position. Is there anybody that you want to thank before we send you on your evening?
Just thank my friends and family. Thanking Jared, he was help crew chiefing me there a little bit on the strategies and what everybody else was doing. So yeah, thanks to those guys.
Very well. Well, congratulations, Clint. Enjoy your night.
All right, thank you. You too, guys.
Yeah, Clint Halterman, leaving no stone unturned. And man, we saw it in Le Mans. A couple teams saying, "Hey, we got to win this thing, maximum risk." Clint Halterman making the same decision there. Man, if one less lap and it would have worked out, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just how fine the line is sometimes. It's a matter of inches sometimes in these races, and it came down to just having one more lap. Just it was that narrow of a gap, but nearly pulled off a impressive victory, but still second place, nothing to sneeze at given the up and down day there was. But now it is time to talk to our winner from tonight's race, the driver out of Northeast State Technical, Kent Hunley. Congrats on the win. You gotta talk us through those last couple laps, what you were thinking between the giant pile up and then making the pass on the last lap there for the win.
I was thinking right place, right time there because I totally missed that restart, and thank God I did because I probably would have been in that one.
Honestly, fair point, yeah, because they collected a good chunk of the top 10.
Yeah, we felt pretty good at the beginning of the run there. I was just saving my tires, kind of biding my time, and I felt like I saved too much, and they got away from me. Had a couple of cautions, bring us back closer, kind of got up on the wheel a little bit, and kind of just right place, right time, the way the cautions and the wrecks fell, and was able to have the fresher tires in the leader.
Yeah, that was very good. It all worked out in the end there, Kent. Towards the end, that last restart, were you worried about the 07? Did you know he was on two tires?
Yeah, 'cause he pit ahead of me and he took off way before I took off, so I knew he was on two tires and one more was up there on two tires too when we left the pit road.
All right. Well, awareness wins this one. And man, congrats, Kent. We knew we expected big things after that Rockingham race. You had the pace. Is there anybody that you want to thank or shout out here before we turn you loose?
The College Northeast States Motorsports Program, Shockeye Racing Performance, Speed Ranch Setup Shop, School of Sim Racing, Studio 10. My wife's there. Carter's probably sick. Wife's probably watching. Mom and Dad's probably watching. And thanks for you guys putting on the show.
All right. Well, very well. Thank you for putting on the show. That was quite exciting there at the end. Congratulations, race winner, Northeast State Technical and Kent Hundley in victory lane tonight. Congrats, Kent.
Thank you, sure. I'm gonna take a shower of this one. This thing is like drenched over here.
Oh, wow.
I think I'm in the same boat here. So, and that was man. That sounds like the competitor, Kent Hundley. Man, he yeah. I'll say it again. He showed his speed there in these Gen 4 cars when we went to Rockingham and a couple other times this season. He's always up front and found victory lane tonight. You heard him, right place, right time.
Yeah, absolutely. And he took advantage of it, which is the biggest part of it. I mean, it's one thing to find yourself in that position, it's another thing to grab hold of that opportunity and bring it home for the win.
Yeah, I think that is accurate. And coming up here, man, we can catch our breaths and we can get the rundown here, Alex. So finishing tonight, the race results that we have, that winner, Kent Hundley, Northeast State Technical, and what a move there, calamity there at the end. Coming in second position, Clint Halterman, North Carolina at Charlotte, 2 tires. Man, he made the most of the hand he was dealt tonight, too. Drexel University and Jason Wallet going to finish in third position, and that will round out the podium. The top 5 completed by East Tennessee State University's Cody Hundley and Purdue University's Jeremy Millerin. Purdue again finds himself in 6th place, this time via Andrew McCall. And 7th position will go to the University of North Texas after a very treacherous final 20 laps or so. They're in 7th position. Drexel University, again, a really good finish for Timothy Wilms in 8th position. Dylan Godina is going to bring that car home in 9th. Andrew Williams from Clemson University in 10th position after some mid-race excitement from that crew. Indiana and the Hoosiers, Colin Copa will bring it home 11th. Ohio State University and Matthew Morton finished 12th after what would have been a very exciting restart to be. Checking up there on the outside, and similarly for Zach DeWale from St. Clair College after the most powerful run to the front that we may have seen this season. North Carolina at Charlotte, Spencer Brown going to be 14th, 15th going to be Austin DeLong. Arizona State University's Connor Levy going to be in 16th, followed in 17th by Wingate University's Jake Cummings, and 18th by Clemson University, this time in Andrew Burrell. Looking in 19th, Garrett Vitton, the other Sun Devil, Arizona State University. That 42 car will be in 19th. 20th, Tyler Klingensmith and Robert Morris will find themselves there. Clemson University going to finish up with Nick Stockner there in 21st. And man, after such a run, the University of Virginia, it was not meant to be for Thomas Toomey in 22nd position. And you saw it there. Minnesota State looks like they did not continue after getting together with Nick Stockner there, but Ryan Wilson and Minnesota State there in 23rd position. And that will be the complete grid. And man, how do you sum it up, Alex?
What I can sum it up as is that might be one of the most fun races I've had the opportunity to cast here for the Garage Shop College Cup Series. I mean, did a lot for season 7. Done a couple here for season 8. That was just a blast from start to finish. I mean, good racing throughout. A couple of crazy moments. Some really incredible passes. A dramatic finish. It checked everything that I'd ever want to do to cover in a race here. So this might be one of the my personal favorite races we've had the opportunity to cast. I put it on that high of a pedestal already.
Yeah, I don't think I can disagree. Very exciting race from start to finish, and a ton of green flag laps. We shall not forget that either. So these drivers really getting to stretch their legs both on the strategy and on the racecraft, and there at the end on the just how aggressive can you be and still bring it home. So right there. And that man was the answer, Kent Hundley in Northeast State Technical College. He got the job done in that 112 car. But man, Alex, I think that that concludes our evening. I don't know if I can handle any more action. Right there, we have.
If we get any more action, I tell you what, I just won't be able to sleep tonight. I'll be too hopped up on adrenaline.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah, my city of Denver is about to get a little bit more exciting. We hope. We hope. And so, anyways, that is all to say that more action coming this way Wednesday in 2 days, 9 p.m. Eastern. If you enjoyed that, you'll love the beaten and banging Toyota GR86 series put on by many of these drivers in that field as well, and some road course experts. And then we will be back on the oval side with these Gen 4 cars. It's going to be next Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, is going to be that green flag. So from all of us here at CIL, thank you. Thank you to the Garage Shop for helping us put on this excellent show here tonight. Keep an eye out for their drivers in the field on this one. We will see you all on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Have a great one.